immersive technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality are a way to position yourself in an environment that doesn't actually exist through things like rotation tracking, position tracking, and depth perception, where each of your eyes gets a different camera. We've used it ourselves. We're all designers here, and we've seen firsthand what happens when we take a project that previously only existed as a plan or a section and then explode it into this fully immersive environment where you can actually feel like you exist inside of it and reach out and almost touch things.
A few years ago when the Oculus Rift came out, we thought it could be used as a design tool. We could use it to study various options. And it also might be helpful in helping our clients understand the spaces that we were designing for them. We made the investment and developed a workflow using the Oculus Rift, and it vastly exceeded our expectations. We would have our clients come in and put on the goggles, and then we couldn't tear them away. And they very quickly started to want us to show it to potential donors. We also found that architects would call us up and ask to come over so that they could sit in their room and understand their geometry and understand their materials choices better.
People are universally excited, especially when they put on the headset and they've never used one before. It's very surprising. You think you know what to expect, and then it's absolutely out of this world.
And right now we're using every tool out there. We have room scale VR, we have a seated experience, we have portable VR that can be put on an Android or an iPhone. We can go to a meeting that's somewhere out of the office where there are no computers that could handle a fully integrated VR experience, and start to give people a full experience on their phone. And once we're done showing it to them, they can show it to other people or reference it at their convenience.
So as we've developed these capabilities in-house and been overwhelmed by the response, we realized that we could be quite helpful to the industry in general.
There's a lot of different services we're offering companies that are interested in starting to use immersive technologies themselves. A one-off project where they have a big presentation coming up and they just really want to impress their clients or collaborators. And on the other end of the spectrum, we love to establish relationships with companies where we're working with them through many designs and many projects, but we're extremely passionate about helping people understand how this is a new tool and uses for it are endless.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Venue stage. And we are live, my dears, yes we are. Now, we begin. A Christmas Carol.
God bless you, merry gentlemen, may nothing you dismay.
Mercy! Dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Bear but a touch of my hand there, and you shall be upheld in more than this.
I was bred in this place. I was a boy here. In came a fiddler with a music book and made an orchestra of it. In came Mrs. Fizzy with one vast, substantial smile. In came the...
Come in! Come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen, but as I know your purpose is to do me good, I am prepared to bear you company, and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me?
And I'm here on the set of The Orchard at the Baryshnikov Art Center. Would you please come see us live or virtually? It's pretty magical.
Hello, I'm Mikhail Novichok. In this theater production, I'm playing two roles. In virtual production, I'm playing Anton Chekhov, the playwright. In the theater production, I'm playing the role of the old servant by the name Fierce. Please do come see our show.
Если бы я застрелился, то доставил бы этим большое удовольствие 9/10 своим.
My baby! And let me pick you up, baby!
Greetings, welcome to our haunted brewery. Ooh, it's hell, the jokes are bad, sorry. Why you're here, you get to go back to the land of the living, good for you, but you get to pick someone to leave with you. Any of these eligible ghost singles that we have hand-selected for you. It's just like dating in real life, except worse. You get to pick the Patrick Swayze to your Whoopi Goldberg, someone to be with you for all of eternity, so pick wisely. There are no give-backs. And I happen to know all of these ghosts personally, and I have to say, hoo boy, good luck.
Straight to Scrooge's clerks, and on the threshold of the door the spirit smiled, stopped to bless Bob Cratchit's dwelling. el Iscariote fue quien lo traicionó. Él fue a ver a los jefes, los sacerdotes para la ocasión.
El Cordero Pascual.
Now, we begin. A Christmas Carol.
May I inquire as to whom I have the pleasure of meeting?
What name do you go by, dear visitor?
My name is Alex Coulombe, and for the past 5 years, I've been running the XR Creative Studio in New York City, Agile Lens Immersive Design. We've done a lot of theater and theaters, and have learned a lot of lessons in what works and doesn't work, especially in the virtual world. We were able to start looking at different kinds of avatars, genres, audience performer interaction, skeuomorphism, how much we actually try to replicate the real world versus taking advantage of the digital medium, using anything from volumetric capture to performance capture at both the low and high ends of that spectrum. You can just use a webcam, for example, if you want to. And then the audience is meant to engage in the show as much or as little as they want to, but the key is to let them pick exactly where they want to be during the performance. Do you want to be 2 inches away from the actor and study all the nuances of what's going on with their face, or would you rather have a bird's eye view of the entire production? That's up to you. There's never been a tool like this before. We're allowing for democratization of techniques that in the past have cost tens of thousands, even millions of dollars for one-off productions, and we're trying to give people the tools so that anyone, regardless of budget, can put on an incredibly compelling show.
And that's not what this is. Remote, as much as, don't tell the people that publish our academic papers this, but we are not a super scientific organization. Agile Lens, if you don't know, is a company that focuses on XR and performance and future tech in general, innovation in performance, I should say, technological innovation in performance. And quite largely what that translates to is that we get cool sets of toys and we throw them at actors. And we say, what are we making? What do you guys think we're making? And one of those things that we have always wanted to mess with and have not had an opportunity to do is LED volume. And when our research partners, Tandon, NYU Tandon, and our production partners, WLab, came to us and said, hey, we have a little bit of time with an LED volume if you guys want to do something stupid, interesting. And we said, yeah, of course, we would love to do that. When in the future do you think we can? And they were like, how about next week? And we're like, sold, great, perfect. And as such, what we didn't do was have time to say, like, here's our thesis, and here's how we're going to execute it. And instead we said, okay, let's see what questions we have by the end of this, which is the backwards thing, but it's working for us. All of which is to say, at the end of this, there'll be a QR code that flashes a survey. We would very much appreciate your feedback, because what this actually is R&D. I don't know exactly what you're going to look at, frankly. I'm proud to say that as the writer-director of the piece, that like, yeah, I have a fairly good approximation. The fact is, we've been in here for about 3 days. We had our kickoff meeting 10 days ago. There was not a script then, and as such, we've done a lot of work in a little bit of time. And what you're looking at, for those of you that come from the theater, what you're looking at is a pretty standard workshop. For those of you that come from anything else, what you're looking at is what we call a workshop, and the rest of the world says is like, what is that you're doing? There's a pile of, this is what we said, there's a pile of PC pieces because our main character is working on a 486, a retro PC at the beginning of the play. She'll tell you all about it in the play. The reason I'm saying it is because I accidentally threw out all of my old computer parts before this play, so this is that, for instance. And people I know that a SATA cable isn't going to be used in a 486 rebuild. this pile of platforms is a bed. We think we did a pretty good job with that. But as such, there are going to be a handful of things where you're like, well, that's not. And you're right, that's not. We did our best. And that's largely in the physical world, but rest assured, it's also going to be in what you see in the digital world. Everything you're looking at is frankly, pretty placeholder. What we are interested in is how do these things start to feel, what ideas come to us as we get into the place of like, oh, look at all this stuff coming together. And for that, fortunately or unfortunately, theater is a performative medium and we can't really do research without bringing a bunch of you wonderful, what's the word? Guinea pigs. I'm going with gerbils. That's autonomy. They've been an incredible resource for basically that the whole time. Anyway, all to say, what you're looking at is R&D. We want to be really clear. I think you're going to enjoy this. We have some really wonderful actors. The team has been incredible. And I'm proud of this thing that we put together, but it's going to break. It's for sure going to break. We may stop. We may not stop. You'll know we don't have like theatrical lighting. We're not really trying to map the digital world with the real world. We're suggesting it. And that's why you're here, is because you're cool with that. Okay, so anyway, with that, I'm going to bring the actors, Rachel, Evan, and Jesse, who are very talented actors. They're going to come out on stage, and we're going to calibrate. It just means they're going to stand there, and some people behind them are going to do some stuff, and then we'll get them a thumbs up. The other thing you're going to see that I meant to say and forgot was that we're going to be moving cameras around a little bit. There's a live stream going on. It's real interesting, but you can't see it. But as such, I'll be walking around with the ugly camera rig, and there's Lila over there who's also going to be swinging that thing around like it owes her money. So do be aware of that. If you're sitting in front of one of these lighthouses, these little black boxes on sticks, just be aware that if you hit that, it's the end of the world, and you're going to jail. And I think that's basically it. Vic, do you have anything that I needed to say? Alex? June?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. We're doing backstage
That's
stuff.
my boss, everybody. Cool. Well, once again, I do want to thank WLab and NYU Tandon for having us. Are we calibrated? Who am I looking at?
Are we calibrated? One more character.
We're going to chill for just
This is
a
really
second
exciting.
while they do really interesting work and you don't put them up. How are you guys doing? Yeah. Yeah. This is good. This is theater. Just look at each other.
Yes, and make eye contact with every single audience member one by one.
This is immersive theater now.
Yeah. Surprise, losers. We're good? We're good. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to come get that camera. Bring it guys. Again, we may stop, start. I mean, you get it. We're all in this room together. Thank you, everybody.
No, you don't.
No, I know, Tom. I know. I'm working on it. You don't want to know the answer to that. I'm telling you, human to human, that you're much happier not knowing. No, I'm not saying that you're happy, Tom. I know that you're not happy, but imagine being even less. Work is getting done, and more of it will get done. Is the only thing you need to know. And no, Tom, because Tom, I'm not going to be yelled at. No, I know you're not yelling, but it feels like I'm being. Fine, I'm sorry. I understand. I am having trouble, yes. But I found a solution, I think, and I'm working on it, and I am not specifically blocked in any way that anyone can help me with. I understand. By Monday.
Room service.
Oh, thanks. I forgot I ordered.
Pleasure. So you've been busy. You know, you can call for housekeeping at any time.
No, I will, yeah. I'll clean this up though.
I hear you'll be staying with us a little longer.
Yeah,
Well, let us know if you need anything.
thanks.
Are you staying for the next convention?
What?
I know AQS is coming through next month. Are you staying for the next convention?
Oh, no, just liked it here.
I'd love to hear that. You gambling much?
What? No. I mean, a little. Not gambling, slots, mostly. Just in here, though, trying to finish a project before I go home.
Yeah, got a great view for it. All right, we're all set. You need anything else?
What?
Anything else I can get you?
No, thanks. Here.
Thank you. Good luck with your project.
Wow, you are really not good with people.
No, shut up.
I mean, that guy knew how to handle it, but imagine if he was the way you are. It would have been like a collapsing black hole of personality in here. I mean, this fucking mess would have been sucked up into the past where it belongs.
Coming in hot. Shut up, please.
I'm sorry, kiddo. You don't like to be bothered while you eat. I'll wait.
Don't stay. I can hear it.
What?
I can hear myself chewing. I'm sorry. I don't know how you eat without chewing.
I didn't say
It's
it.
gross. If I had known you would be joining, I would have ordered something crunchy or something so you didn't have to hear these noodles smacking around in my mouth.
What are you building?
Why?
I thought you were supposed to have something for Tom by now.
I'm working on it.
Doesn't look like you're working on it.
Fuck you. I built something and it sucks and it's joyless and fuck you and fuck Tom. I have to start over.
Hey, don't scrap it. Just,
No.
start building a new scene. So
I have to start over, like, conceptually. I never had an idea to begin with.
Hey, you had an idea.
Barely.
It was a stupid idea.
It was a stupid idea. Oops, all fetch quests for Superman?
Yes, it's a lot of pressure.
Superman.
I still think the cat is right.
I want to say, fine, getting a cat out of a tree is a totally good Superman task. And yes, I can build 2 minutes of gameplay out of that. But actually, where is the task? Because, hey, Supes, go into this tree. Fine, that literally takes a second. And I can't make it complicated because that's not fucking Superman. Fuck! I'm so fucked!
Yeah, you're right. That's dumb. It's a good training round, maybe.
Stop trying to help.
You're right. What do I know about video games? I'm only the main character of the most popular indie game in the last 5 years.
My game. My game.
Correction, love. Once it was your game, now it belongs to the masses. Wow, you really are hard to be around when you're stressed. I can see why you're holding up here. Like a wolf man. Lock me up! You gotta lock me up! Okay, so really though, no, what's happening here? What are we procrastinating with? Oh, vintage 486 DX33. Oh, fresh inbox sound blaster. Oh, remember the first time you heard one of these? Remember the first time you wired up speakers to your computer?
That right there, that's what I'm doing. And that's why this isn't procrastination.
Right. Yeah.
No, shut up. This game, it can't just be a little fun. It has to be whole body fun. It has to be like joyful. It has to be a religious revival. I want to create that feeling that you just experienced, but over a 12 to 25 hour period. So I ordered a bunch of freeware and shareware prompts, and I'm building this machine so that I can recreate that feeling in myself, so I can really analyze causality and figure out how to make that happen for the player, or build a mechanic so the same neurons fire in the player.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Why are you like this?
Oh, come on, you know it's stupid. I'm just being direct.
It's not.
Oh, no. I'm not entertaining this any longer. Show me the slice.
It's gone.
No, it's not. I know you. It's literally still open on your desktop.
Okay, fine. I don't want you to see it. I don't want to have to see you play it.
Okay, great. Go get us some drinks, huh? Jesus Christ. This is a mess, too. Hey, is this anxious, claustrophobic feeling the religious revival you were talking about? you just give a talk about legacy naming protocols?
Do you want to see the game or do you just want to comment on every bad choice I've made so far?
I'm a journalist, baby. I can do both.
You're a fucking hallucination is what you are.
Right. An undigested bit of beef, whatever you need. Hey, what do I need to know before I get playing?
Standard controls, shift to toggle between first and third person. There's a flag piece and a combat piece, but it should start you in a lobby.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Oh my god, I wasn't lying when I said it's unplayable.
It's not unplayable, it's just not timed.
Oh, you have to come and say that to my face.
Alright, extremely not timed.
I'm sorry, I really am.
Hey, no. Lois told me no one should ever apologize for a rough draft.
Aw, Lois, that's cute. You already built some story elements in.
I built a language van using Superman radio scripts so that I wouldn't have to write any dialogue and so that NPCs would be non-repeating.
Before you even started building the game, you wrote a machine learning code to avoid writing the game. You really are something.
You really are.
It wasn't going to do anything but give me first drafts.
Why? First draft is all you need. Nothing more American than a true blue first draft.
I don't love the creeping nationalism.
Welcome to early comics. Yeah, we can throw that one away, buddy.
Swell!
I like swell. Yeah, no, that's fun.
Got it. I'm here to help.
It's interesting how much time you'll spend dedicated to building things that are not the thing you're supposed to be building.
It's interesting how much shut the fuck up you know.
I'm sorry, kiddo. We just got no time for people who can't hit deadlines the newspaper is.
You're a reporter.
An editor at the Times. I mean, hey, it's no Daily Planet, but we do okay.
Wow, the New York Times. That's a fine publication.
I fight crime, too. You know, you and I have a lot in common.
No kidding. Always great to be a fellow justice seeker. I'm Superman.
I know, kid. I'm the Gray Lady.
Wow.
Thanks.
How'd you get it?
How'd you get yours?
Superman?
Yeah. How'd you come up with that?
Well, my parents, they, well, you know, I'm like a regular man, but especially so.
Wow. Hell of a story.
Greg,
What?
you're being rude and obtuse.
People don't like that?
People don't like that.
Oh, I'm just giving you a hard time, Soups. I don't think I've ever met anybody as famous as you are. Hey, I'll always jump at the chance to tell my origin story. I was a super successful section editor at the Times. Left glass ceiling after glass ceiling in my wake. And you know how I did it? I worked my pixelated ass off. First at the newsroom, last to leave. Made sure everybody knew it, too. Never took a lunch that wasn't a working one. Never missed a meeting. In fact, I worked so relentlessly that the day I got my final promotion, my first day as editor, I made myself a cup of Earl Grey tea in the kitchen at work, then took it back to my office, where I promptly forgot about it. Several hours later, rinse and repeat. I would take this cup of Earl Grey tea to the kitchen, nuke it, and then when I realized it several hours later at the end of the day, I popped it in the microwave and then forgot about it again. The next morning, I found this cup still sitting in the microwave, and then I nuked it, brought it back to my office where, you guessed it, I got so caught up in work that I forgot about it. Oh, this went on for weeks. I'd nuke it, take it to my office, let it cool down, over and over and over again until one day, hell, it wasn't even auspicious. I didn't even realize that. I was finally drinking this tea. The culmination of 1,000 cycles of reheating and cooling. I hadn't thought about how absorbent to radioactivity a cardboard cup becomes after so long steeped in the same tea. I certainly never expected for it to change my DNA.
Oh, I get it. The Gray Lady. Like the paper. Oh, and the tea. Hot dog.
Well, he ain't the world's greatest detective, but the kid's got his eyes open.
So what are your powers?
I'm so glad you asked. Tea-based. Starting stats. Antioxidant boost. I heal at 2% per second. Memory activation. I have a superpowered memory, so in the form that manifests for the form in time loop don't. I never have to sleep, so every level of my game has a day and night mode, and also I carry a gun. Which I think is not tea-based so much.
Yeah, no, we threw that one in.
Something about the Revolutionary War, maybe? It's a rich trend. People like guns.
So I've heard.
I've been complaining a lot about shooter games.
Well, can't have a shooting mechanic in Superman game, I hear that.
I'm sorry, but we all have rules.
Hard to blame you for any of it.
Kid has been working really hard.
Not hard enough.
I can shoot lasers from my eyes.
I know you can't, buddy.
I just wish I better understood what the problem was.
Do you ever miss?
What?
Your targets, do you ever miss them?
Not much, no.
Well, there's the problem.
What do you mean?
Well, traditional games are challenge-based. Jump high enough, survive long enough, solve the puzzle. Nothing's challenging to a god.
So make a non-traditional game.
You're the sixth most recognizable figure in the world. I can't make a Superman game without action. The Clark Kent walking sim is not what the stakeholders are after.
6?
Some lists have you at 2.
Mickey Mouse is #1.
Those are all old, though. It's mostly Mickey, Ronald McDonald, Harry Potter, Charlie Chaplin's Tramp, Bugs Bunny, then you.
Yeah. Still, top 10. And hey, with enough eyes on this project, you can bump back up in the rankings. I mean, unless it doesn't exist.
Stop.
Sorry to bother. I forgot your coat.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, no, I can't accept that. It sets a bad precedent. Whole staff will be forgetting half your order. Oh, cool. Hey, can I ask, is that Superman? What game is that?
Oh, it's not. I'm just making it.
You're making this game?
You play games?
Oh, I mean, a little. I'm not like a gamer. Call of Duty, Rocket League with the boys. But I play a good Superman game. I love those Spider-Man games.
Yeah, those are good games.
So you make video games?
Sometimes. I mean, yeah, I don't know why I said sometimes.
You do other stuff too?
Not really. Yes, I make video games.
Very cool. Oh, wait, are you going to be able to release this though? Isn't Superman like copywritten?
Oh, yes. The owners of the copyright are the ones who are paying me to do it.
Oh, so this is like the new Superman game.
It's supposed to be.
Whoa, is this even announced yet?
No.
Oh my god, should I be seeing this?
No.
Oh my god, I am so sorry.
It's fine.
I am too chatty.
No, it's okay.
Oh, we take privacy very seriously
I know.
here. And I'm under strict confidence with the hotel and contractor to never reveal anything that I see on the premises.
Fine. It's okay. You haven't seen anything. I'm not in trouble. You're not in trouble. I know you didn't mean to pry. You were just being friendly. And I appreciate it.
What the hell was that?
Thank you.
Where did that come from?
I'll be going.
Wait, you can't just ask so
I could really use your input if you have a minute.
Sure.
You said you love Superman.
Yeah, he was my guy, Carly.
You don't think he's boring?
Boring?
He's undefeatable. He's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, how is that not boring? If he so easily defeats his enemies, what fun could be had in a video game?
Do you think he's boring?
Well, no.
So there you go.
It's a nonsense argument from unthinking people.
Okay, sure.
Like, if I met someone who was as committed to doing the right thing as Superman, I think they'd be the most interesting person I've ever met.
Yeah, it'd be no contest.
Like, dude is a baby on Krypton, so this is totally academic and arguable, but I'm pretty sure even by Krypton standards, he's extraordinary. Like nature v. nurture and the obvious influence of the Kents aside, because if you take Crisis on Infinite Earths out of the equation, there's no reason to believe that Jor-El and Lara wouldn't have been equally excellent and loving parents. Though you can't really reckon with the Kents raising Clark without superpowers, so it's not even a reasonable comparison, even hypothetical. Soup's only inherent superpower is his unflagging virtue.
What?
Oh,
exactly what you meant.
Well, you know how he's not powerful on Krypton?
No, I didn't know that.
I thought he was your guy.
Oh, I didn't read the comics a lot as a kid, so.
Oh, sorry.
No, this rules. Please explain why he's not powerful on Krypton.
Well, he gets his power from Earth's sun. So on Krypton, he's just another guy, and any Kryptonian would be Superman on Earth. That's why Supergirl and Krypto, the super dog. The Krypton's like that with a happy ending.
So he just happens to land in a place that gives him magic powers.
Yes, but there are evil Kryptonians.
Like General Zod.
Yeah, and even mediocre and boring ones. So there's no reason to assume that Superman's behavior is universal to his species.
Okay.
So, looking at that behavior, dude lands in the middle of nowhere and is taken in by a couple of kind human beings who raise him to understand that he is, Superman, and that if any other human being found out that he was different, better, he would become a science experiment at best, or more likely, destroyed or banished. This is his core understanding of the world around him, that there is kindness, but you can't rely on people to maintain it. And then he chooses to become a journalist. Relentless pursuit of the truth, he calls it, which tells us that dude looks around and sees all the violent, xenophobic people populating this incredible planet they're destroying, and recognizes that subterfuge and misinformation is a plague that we as a species manage to perpetuate, and he takes action to fight it. And that's his fucking day job. Meanwhile, his hobby is flying around the city stopping violent criminals who, may I remind you, are human beings, stealing and killing other human beings because human beings are fundamentally selfish creatures. And even though there are civilians who love and celebrate Superman, there are myriad who try over and over again to kill him. But every fucking day, he gets up, puts on 2 goddamn outfits at the same time. He goes to work trying to save human beings from themselves. He's the most inspiring character in all of literature.
And you're saying all of that would be hard to put into a video game.
A fun one, anyway.
Virtue's rarely fun. I'd be out of a job if that weren't true.
Yeah.
So this is the project that's been extending your set?
Yes.
Have you been on the road?
Kerouac?
Yeah.
I think in high school.
You know he wrote it in one go?
On an acid trip.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. The story is that he wrote it all in this 2-week binge of inspiration explosion.
Stream of inspired consciousness.
Yeah, and he used one roll of paper so that he wouldn't have to swap it out every page.
Flow state.
Yes, but you want to know something cool?
Yes.
It's baloney.
What?
The whole story is baloney. He typed it out over 2 weeks, yes, but the whole thing was taken out of notebooks that he'd been writing for 5 years. And then he spent the next 2 years rewriting it and reshaping it until someone would actually publish it. He talks about it pretty plainly, but he usually leads with the inspiration binge to, I don't know, keep up appearances or whatever.
Huh.
Yeah.
What's your why are you telling me that?
I don't know. It just occurred to me. I guess it sounded helpful in my head.
Thanks.
Yeah. I should get out of here.
Thanks for the Coke.
You bet.
I did the last one in a prolonged war of short burst battles.
Yeah?
You reap for years, and then when you sow, it feels like you're trying to get your feet under you after you've launched.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, that was a lot of metaphors.
No, I'm following.
I can't seem to get my feet under me at all for this one. I can't get off the couch.
I'm sure you'll solve it.
I wish I had your confidence. Sorry, what's your name?
Oh, Bruce.
Seriously?
Yeah, why? Yeah, that's my name. Bruce Kent. I'm messing with you. All right, I'll get out of here.
Thanks for the coke.
You already thinking?
Well, please don't. Look at you. Look at me. That guy can see you're a psycho.
Okay, Jesus.
I wonder how many guests he meets who stay locked up in their rooms talking to their little video game friends.
I'm here to help.
Thanks, buddy.
You don't owe me anything. I'm fighting for the same things you are.
Oh boy.
And away!
I'm here to help. What?
The GAN leads with that all the time. Soups must have said it a lot.
Ah, what a sweetie pie.
Yes, exactly.
What exactly?
Should have my morning.
Oh, well, I'll just fuck off.
Did you notice Soups never asked why you fight crime?
Oh, of course he didn't. He doesn't need a reason.
Yeah.
No one ever asked him.
Yeah.
Kind of wild that people thought him up.
Yeah.
End of play! So that's the QR code. It is a 3D object in space. I'm not sure if it's readable at this angle or with that fake glare on it. But try, and we'll find out. And if not, then let me know. We will send you it. It's where it's reading? Yep. QR codes are cool as hell, huh? We didn't do credits or anything like that, so I do want to point and praise to Jesse Canizaro, Rachel Lynn, and Evan Malkin. We, at this point, had planned to do a Q&A. And I am tempted to say, instead of that, why don't we all talk to one another like regular people? Because I am concerned about the Q&A being like, hey, we didn't see anything that was taking place on the stream. But I guess I can throw to you, Alex, as the boss and the voice of the audience. Do you think we should do a quick Q&A?
I'm the voice of the audience? I've never had that title before. I think if anyone has like an amazing question where they're like, everyone needs to hear my question, go ahead, raise your hand, and let's hear your amazing question. If anyone's quite that confident. Otherwise, I'm totally fine with us doing it more casually.
This is why I threw it to him.
Hey.
You have an amazing question or a shitty one.
It's not your question. I just wanted to, the cast may have been confused why we were laughing at points which weren't necessarily funny. And it was just because of the way the figures were being portrayed on the screen. And some of it was kind of hilarious.
Some incredible absurdist.
And you guys kept your cool, like you just plowed right through, which was great. That was confusing.
You've got a question?
Yeah, I mean, great. There's already a part where you're acting in a play where you're both yourself and your character at the same time. You're in your head about what your character is in the moment. But you have two versions of yourself in this moment. You have yourself, you have at least what's behind you, and I have no idea what's on the live stream. So, the hardest way to put this is, which one is in your head as you're thinking about how your performance is being received?
I'll go first. Primarily, it's this one. It's the one that I can touch myself. And I think that's in part, that wouldn't necessarily be true for any version of this kind of like multimedia, VR, real world thing. But because this one, like, I trust that the avatar is doing, like, the puppeteering is happening without like my active control so much as a more passive thing, right? So my focus ends up being on the play that you can hear with your physical ears.
Yeah, I think I in agreement with that. I feel like in a longer process with this, because we sort of have come to the script very quickly, and also I was introduced to the avatar for Grey Lady just before but just before now. About 2 hours ago. And so it's in the back of my head somewhere. But I feel like if we were with this process for a couple more, like a week or something, that might become more meshed together. But yeah, I think for today's purpose, it was very like, all right, I'm going to be in my physical space, and whatever is happening in the virtual reality world is hopefully connected to that.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that. But I did shoot a movie that was also in like this, and that one we couldn't pick anything up because the technology was advanced. So like I do think you think about bigger gestures rather than smaller details.
Yeah. You mentioned during the process that sometimes the technology informed what you were going to write or do.
Yeah, I think informed is maybe too generous, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, what was the process of creating the story, and who wrote it?
Yeah, Kevin, who wrote it?
I wrote it.
Yeah!
The process of writing the story was like 5 years ago. We had an opportunity to do a research grant that required us to do that had asked us if we could integrate 3 different modalities of avatars. And so we started writing a piece. I'd say we, because I usually represent groups of people, but in this case it's just me and I sound like a crazy idiot. I started writing a piece that was like, there's this game dev and her like ostensibly very pixelated 2-dimensional creation, and then a shitty PS1 era Superman. To see how effectively or like what theatrical conventions could be built out of dealing with 3 such different animation sectors, etc. And so that, like, truly, it was like, I don't know, what's a world where I could get, like, 3 different methods of people in? And also, I think that Superman is the only reason that people are good. Like, the existence of Superman is the only argument for why people are okay. And so I've always wanted to say that out loud in front of people. Also, like, some video game jokes. Hearing some people laugh at the Superman fetch quests line, which has just been a nightmare in the room, because that line does not play unless you play games. So that, like, a lot of this was also just like, I wonder if I could say this stuff out loud in front of people, and that would be okay.
Kevin, you've also become the Grey Lady during that speech.
I feel so free.
So the actors got the script when?
The actors got this script like today. This script, I mean, this was like, this script was probably 80% written, if I'm honest, when we came to our first rehearsal.
10 days ago.
10 days ago. And then
great job.
First of all, these are incredible memorizers. They're also part of the reason we wanted to go with these 3 specific actors, aside from them being incredibly good at their jobs, is that they're like experts in this like hyper repertory new work scene that sort of used to exist in New York. These guys are like alums of the serials of The Flea and Tiny Rhino and Rule of 7 by 7 and all of the same things that we've been talking about for the last few days. And this was, in some, we knew going in we were going to have such a limited amount of time, and it would really feel like one of those where it's like, I don't know, let's see what we can get done in the room, and then we're going to move into the space, and everything will be a little different, and we'll fucking figure it out. And so being able to work with these guys who like are comfortable in that environment it was easy to finish the script. Yes, please.
This is not a question, but just kind of to add to that. I mean, I think that independent of the technical issues, I think it was very funny, and given the short development time, and you were all like really on.
Yeah, they're great.
So absolutely.
Great question. Whit, do you want to speak to some of that? Because it's really that's your show, baby.
Yeah, so we had a lot more of these. You could see like a moment where like a coin appears in the background, or like the poof with Gandalf. We really wanted to play into like some of these old video game tropes and motifs. And so especially when Gray is giving her character origin story monologue, there's like the whole room is sort of like changing around her with newspapers flying everywhere, and she's crashing through a glass ceiling, and her tea is being microwaved green by an So it's like, there was a lot more like tongue-in-cheek kind of elements that we were trying to play up. And as well as some sound cues. We got a door knock there at the end, which was good. That wasn't fun to play, of course.
Superman was supposed to move.
Superman was supposed to move. That was the thing, of course.
If I had said that was intentional,
and yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, the facts, basically. I think the short answer is facts. But largely it was, yeah, we're trying to, one of the problems we had with this show, if you will, was like there was no logic to why we would use an LED screen. It was like using an LED volume because we had an opportunity to. And we found a text that we were like, I don't know, maybe there's some stuff in here we can play with. And so we wanted to, what is the video game or version of this that lives in Kit's head versus what is the actual world that other people might be observing. So there are some video game tropes, and that's I think were we to do this again, that's really the angle we'd be leaning into.
And just to be clear, the live stream were AR effects on top of the live actors?
Alex, you want to talk about the live stream at all?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things we wanted to try here was some apples to apples comparisons. So this fun little rig that we made, some of you saw this before the show, is an actual camera of a phone that's shooting back to a computer, and then below that is meant to be kind of the inside Unreal Engine equivalent, and ideally then that provides an interesting, like, here's the real world, here's the equivalent camera shot in the virtual world, and then similarly we have Lila back here operating the red cam over here, and of course if she pushes it forward, we see how that changes the environment and all that, which is kind of mixing and matching one use of this where we want to see the virtual world and the characters, and the other more traditional use of this for virtual production, which is to provide a backdrop with in-camera VFX. So then the other apples to apples comparison was to try to see if we frame in on an actor like Jessie, for example, we'd have one shot that is Jessie with the LED virtual wall behind her, and then we also have not Jessie, but just the gray lady or something like that. So there's something that we wanted to study here that was what's compelling and what isn't, and what can we drop and what should we take forward into our next experiments. Some of you know that we've done a lot of stuff with virtual reality in the past. So if, for example, we were going to let a virtual audience from around the world put on VR headsets and exist in this world, would that actually be worth their time to have a headset on? And obviously we're playing here with markerless mocap. We're using Capture, thanks to WLab and NYU. And it's great because it's markerless. They don't need to have a bunch of ping pong balls on. We played a little bit with the idea of them doing facial capture as well. We decided that kind of went against the whole idea of trying to just let you look at actors. So there are other tech that we played with, like Theatrical, which actually does do facial capture at the same time, but it's not quite as high fidelity. So we're always just juggling all these tools up in the air and seeing what falls down and breaks and what's worth continuing with. And we thank you all so much for being on this ride with us.
And I think to answer your question specifically on that, like the perspective of where the virtual, like this camera, like the fact that you're even seeing the avatars behind them instead of sort of like in theory it was going to be an in-camera AR thing, you wouldn't see their avatars because they would be in the same spot as they're right now. So there's a little bit of a perspective change there, so it's not quite a 1-to-1 on that.
Yes. Great.
Well, I'm saying today was an experiment.
Yes.
My first question is, do we consider the experiment a success?
Oh, that's not very We'll know in a week when we've all woken up.
That'll depend on who we are.
Right.
And then if you have, for the next 10 days, what does the next 10 days look like? How does the criteria change for the next phase of the experiment?
I'm trying to think of the real answer to your question is this was so broken that the next 10 days is repeating this, where we get this to work. And from there, I think we'll get a lot more information about what parts of it we're excited by and what parts of it are useful for the story versus distracting. But as it stands right now, we learned that it's hard to do this. And that, in that way, it was a very successful experiment. Theory, it was hard. Check. Nailed it. But yeah, I think there is a world where we would like to move this to some kind of production run. And I think that, my general feeling, and this is, I'm not speaking for Agile Lens on this explicitly.
Better not.
Is that, don't tell Alex, this is what I mean. Is that ultimately, if this is what you're doing is a hybrid model, the value of this is people will watch it at home because it is built for VR to be seen. And then ideally they will be like, oh, and it's coming to my town? I would love to see what the actual audience is seeing. I know that these are two different worlds. My virtual experience is X, and it's probably not a live stream. One of the things that we were going to do and didn't do was make this multiplayer so people at home could attend in VR. But frankly, like, we've done that. We didn't need to prove that we could do it again. And it's hard, so we didn't do that. But I think ultimately this would have at least 3 versions of the audience. There's the people live, there's the people in VR, and then there's the live stream. And then how that model perpetuates is sort of up to what works and what doesn't work. I think there's a world where we take this, we pair it with 2 other short plays that use LED volumes in different ways, and we go on the road as like a showcase. Here are some ways that people aren't using this tech that we think they should.
Emerging tech circus.
Emerging tech circus. Take that, Pander. Calder. Pander musicals. He's awesome. Anyway, Calder Hill Circus. You guys get it. Really good joke. You guys like the play.
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? This was more useful than I had given you guys credit for. I don't deserve you. Great. I can't thank you enough for coming. I do also once again want to say, like, WLab and NYU Tandon have been incredible.
Yeah.
Not just in offering us their facilities, but also in offering us like people who know incredible amounts of stuff and have been so helpful and great on this project. We couldn't have asked for other partners, and I'm saying that out loud because we didn't say it out loud enough this week, and they're in the room. So I'm talking past them. Wonderful, and we love them. We're very grateful for them, and you have to hear me say that because otherwise I'd blow them in the face when I did it. We're gonna wrap it up. There's some snacks here. We're all gonna head over to the distillery and drink a bunch of whiskey. We would love to see you there if you're a person who likes whiskey or us.
Oh, and if anyone wants to say hi to AI Charles Dickens, he's hanging out there too. And there's the AI art show happening, so check that out. We just happen to be programmed at the same time, so it's a big, fun event, super event.
Yeah. Thank you again, everybody, so much.
And if anyone wants to play with the equipment, just don't break it.
Yeah, we're going to leave this right. If you want to walk on stage and see if you too can be the great ladies. You can, apparently no one can.
Information capture.
This is the Vivemore system.
But it's a visual.
I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, that's like a weird thermal vision thing. It looks fine on the live stream. I don't know what's up with that.
Oh, it's from Tandon.
Yeah, it's not ours. Yeah, this is NYU.
Yeah, because they don't have any marketing pretty good.
Yeah. And then this down here is just your standard PCAM directly into Very Legend. So yeah.
This is like very interesting to see like these things happening at play.
Yes.
That the thing that they are practicing is a lot of facilities.
All right, cool. Good to see you. Thank you so much for making
video
the
would
track.
make more sense. All right. So on this character.
I keep watching online.
Go for it. Whiskey sounds like a great idea.
Take a picture of the screen and pop it up for but you can put it like this.
It's just going to be like maybe
By the way, you became one of the characters while you were asking your questions.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah. It's almost like capturing focuses in on like where the most movement is, and then turns that into the main person. Very funny.
Now, the typewriter,
Yeah.
like face to face.
Just live on face. Don Van our team put it together. Yeah, live on face. Someone's operating it. Yeah. And the country stuff is fun. We haven't got a chance to play with that before, but just to have totally markerless mocap is pretty fun. And we were able to do it up to 4 people, but you know, as you see, it gets pretty glitchy pretty fast.
I'm close to happy with
Yeah.
And it's the same thing where it's like, I just jumped avatars.
Right, exactly.
I will say the really to see if it has accent.
Yeah, nothing at all. Which is funny.
I think they lost track of accents.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to walk back and forth across the stage. Yeah.
Or jump.
Exactly. So we were trying to play with some of those things you can only do in like an optical or normal scenario. So, you know, all fun experiments. And of course, this will make its way into Christmas Carol and other productions we do this year. So it's always fun to mix and match.
You immediately made me want to start writing plays for you.
Oh, great.
For this, where I was like, I haven't had to write plays.
Yeah.
The last thing I write a script, that was a VR play 8 years ago. That, like, I did some reads of for Alt Space.
Yeah, right.
But even then, like, actors didn't have enough headsets to do more than a 2-person scene reasonably.
Yeah. It's come a long way.
I do want to come over and hack with your Unreal project for this and see how it evolved.
Yeah, it was very quick. Like, we had said, like, I want to do this before I go to Unreal Fest. And it's like, okay, then we like a couple days and we get into space. And then it was just like, let's throw it all together.
Unreal Fest next week or 2 weeks?
Unreal Fest in Europe is next week. So I'm flying to the province. He's doing like my tech checks and everything. And then I have 2 talks that I'm, in the process of making.
Is Andrea going this year? Is this in her backyard? Is Andrea going this year?
She didn't do a lot of Unreal, so I don't think she'll.
Right, she's doing visiting. Yeah. I've talked to her about that.
I should have encouraged her. I did get her to go to a London conference one time. I said, hey, if I get you on the speaker track for this, will you fly to London? Sure. So we had a great old time there. I should have told her, like, just for the heck of it, submit an Unreal Fest talk.
Yeah, no, I want to figure out how hard it would be to like swap in new scenes and swap out for
if you write something specific for VR and LED volume, whatever, you'd be thrilled to help you put it on.
I just want to handle it. I mean,
and we need a really cool app for the mixed reality hacker as well. Does everything just from Quest Pro, everything from that. Call it Performer, like MR, mixed reality.
That's what it's the water too as well.
Oh, that's it.
That's why it's rolling.
Yeah. June, are you controlling GAN? Oh, a little laggy,
I feel like you guys just wrote in GAN for this performance. These didn't exist 5 years ago.
We did we did something similar for the mixed reality hack where we made it so you could control a desk with your face, and that was fun. So we like talk and like the drawers would open and everything. That part was really cool.
Good. Thanks for inviting me. Stop this. Very cool.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Very, very cool. Are you going to pop it up?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm still technically streaming it now.
It might be us.
Helsinki. I'm going to stop by Bardia and see a new thing they're about to unveil. It's really great. Still what? Because we're still technically live streaming, so I figure we continue to try to catch what people are doing to play with the tech, and we see how capturing gets different things. We're also recording all the screens over here, so from a documentation perspective, it'll be useful to go back and revisit all this stuff. But yeah, it's kind of fun to figure out. Like, it's a little glitchy right now, but it was kind of fun to sync all this stuff.
It's glitchy here, but it's smoother.
No, not right now. I think it's one of those things that happens where as soon as just a lot of people come into a space, it's like anything that requires like a wireless signal, the network gets overrun. So this was super smooth like 2 hours ago, and now it's very, very laggy. I'll put this down for a second and stop this. Yeah.
Give me